Dance with me.
Oh.
Oh, I warned you. Come on, Paul. I want to see those moves.
Welcome to the creativity show.
I think Paul froze.
I'm moving. You guys are frozen.
We can't see you. There we go. There you go.
Savvy minds on the line they bring. Producer and host.
Now I froze.
In the glow.
Hey, Radio Red. Let's go.
Good.
Tell me what it is that
Sparks your fire.
What keeps you moving?
Keeps you moving.
The creativity
Okay.
There we go. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm akaRadioRed. It's Monday. Where else would I be? We're going to be diving deep into creativity today. The spark is underwater today, and that's a good thing. I've invited three wonderful people who are divers, photographers, videographers, authors, designers, artists, creators. It's just boggling how creative these three people are. I know Paul J. Mila for about 20 years, 25 years from Long Island. I met Gil a couple months ago, and Barbara Petersen is brand new. And I'm going to read a special introduction to each of you. And by the way, everybody, wave hello to LinkedIn, wave hello to YouTube, wave hello to Facebook, and wave hello to our good friend Jordan Henson at Voice America Media Empowerment Channel. There we go. So here we go. I have a special opening, and I hope you enjoy this. Welcome to the Creativity Spark Show, where real-life innovators alight with akaRadioRed on her Scarlett Mic live streaming bright. Diving into creativity is our spotlight today, with curiosity, strategy, and storytelling lighting the way. When I call your name, just say wave hello. That's all. Paul J. Mila, wave hello. Barbara Petersen, wave hello. Gil Zeimer, wave hello. They're joining me to share how a passion for diving launched creative journeys with flair. Their photography, videos, books, and stories are swimmingly admired. Tune in, watch or listen, be immersed, delighted, and inspired. And Paul, here's my special introduction gift for you. Curiosity was Paul's compass from his earliest Brooklyn days, leading him through museums, zoos, and nature's fascinating ways. Though school success arrived later than some might expect, a professor's challenge inspired achievement, earning Paul's deepest respect. From economics and banking to electronic payments done right, Paul built a great business career with savvy skills and sharp insight. Then from TV sea hunt to Cousteau, new underwater worlds came into view, awakening Paul's lifelong passion to explore the ocean's sparkling blue. After 9/11, he followed his dream to Cozumel and creatures of the sea, discovering whales, sharks, and sea life in their colorful majesty. Now a photographer, novelist, and children's author, sharing stories bright, he proves that creativity can begin by following the sea's wonders toward the light. Paul, I hope you enjoyed that.
Thank you. Fantastic.
You're welcome. That's a new one. Sylvia and I worked on that. So there you go. See? Barbara, you're next. First timer, and we're delighted to have you. So, growing up in a small Missouri town where learning lit the way, exceptional teachers inspired Barbara's curiosity each and every day. Science, music, theater, basketball, and yearbook filled her school years too, planting seeds of creativity that flourished in all she would do. From teaching classroom science to a real estate career with care, Barbara embraced each new chapter with creative joy to share. Then one snorkeling trip to Cozumel revealed a colorful world beneath the sea, beginning a lifelong adventure in diving and underwater photography. Her grandkids inspired children's books where ocean treasures came alive, while watercolor, acrylics, and wearable art let her creativity thrive. Now an author, artist, photographer, and storyteller, sharing nature's delight, Barbara reminds us life's greatest inspirations can become love at first sight. Barbara, I hope you enjoyed that.
Well, thank you. Very nice.
You're welcome. Nice. That's why I asked for the origin story. And Gil, here you go. And this is a new one for you. Raised in San Francisco, words were Gil's playground from an early age. inspiring a lifelong journey across the creative realm, page by page by page. Broadcasting, advertising, and writing transported his imagination far and near, blending curiosity with humor and adventure above and below the pier. From Madison Avenue agencies to freelance success across the years, Gil's thousands of ad campaigns earned waves. There's a water, yeah, waves of industry cheers. I had to put that in. Then a scuba trip to Grand Cayman changed beyond his vacation plan, launching an underwater passion that still delights this aqua nut fan. From manta rays and humpback whales to adventures beneath the sea, more than 300 diving stories flowed from Gil's curiosity. Now author, photographer, and storyteller sharing seaworthy tales with flair, Gil reminds us that creativity thrives when curiosity makes us care. Gil, I hope you like that.
Love it. Thank you.
Good. Writer to writer. There you go. So here's my closing. Barbara show's over as soon as I do this. So gather round where the cool kids and the cool vibes sway as we dive deep into creativity today. akaRadioRed's energy, I'm told, lights the way. We hope to inspire you to live large, love life, and play. So how did I do, kids? What do you think?
Excellent.
Oh, wonderful.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Very nice.
Special gift, and I'm just absolutely delighted. And I want to warn or advise our listeners and viewers that we're going to do an exciting slideshow in a few minutes, and I'm going to be showing examples of their book covers, of their photography, their design work, their artwork. We might even have time for a couple of underwater videos, which will be a lot of fun. So let's go and do a little bit of, let's see, Paul, did you want to hold up one of your books and tell us a little bit about the one behind you for a minute there?
Which is behind me? Oh, that one. Well, there's a whole bunch of them behind me. Anyway, this was the first one, Dangerous Waters. What I found out from diving and also as the book progressed, that not all the danger was in the animals, a lot of it was in the people. And what was special to me was the actual photograph. Was my first time diving with sharks, and this one happened to come right, over my shoulder, and I just took the shot as it came by. My publisher liked it, and they said, "Let's use it." So it became the cover of the book. That was number one. I used my pictures for a couple of my books. Second novel was Whales Angels, and that was inspired by swimming with whales. A lot of the stories have been inspired by sea creatures and/or people. The second book, I didn't know I was going to write a second book. I thought I'll be a one-book wonder, and that was going to be it. However, I was diving with humpback whales, or snorkeling with humpback whales, rather, and the whales came by us continually, showed great restraint and care not to hit us, not to hurt us. Saw mothers and babies together. And it was quite an inspirational experience. And when I got home, there was a lot of things in the news at that time about Japan and Norway conspiring to overturn the commercial international whaling ban. And having had my experiences with mother humpbacks, baby humpbacks, I said I have to try and educate people and inform people in an entertaining way, which I chose this as a way to do it. And one book just led to another. And
one more.
Una más. Okay. Killer in Paradise was kind of interesting for a lot of reasons, because I didn't know what I was going to write next, and I came across a story about the oldest ostrich egg in the world being discovered. It was made around the time of Columbus in a magazine. I ordered the magazine, and it's the Portalon magazine from the Washington Map Society. And it talked about the oldest ostrich egg that had the New World engraved on it, about from the time of Columbus. So I said, okay, this could be a real cool item for an art guy who wants to maybe control people and kill people to get this. So I actually ordered an ostrich egg online from Amazon to see what an ostrich egg would actually feel like, how my characters might hold it, what they might do with it. And the story just kind of took off from there, and we just developed a story. So they all go in crazy directions, but inspired by sea creatures and people.
See, what intrigues me most about that is I knew you in the days when you were doing that, and you told me how you had ordered the ostrich egg and how you were getting it engraved. So I remember this. But your journey as a novelist, as a thriller writer, was based in research and curiosity. And that's why I use that, curiosity with creativity. And that's, I think, what has sparked your interest most for all of you, actually. Thank you, Paul. We're going to show a lot of your stuff in a few minutes, your photography and everything. Barbara, do you have anything you'd like to show us, your book or a cover or anything?
Well, sure. I have my books here.
Yeah, show us a couple.
Okay. Well, the first book is, this was the first one I did, was If Fish Could Talk.
Lovely.
And so I wanted to find some way to use my underwater pictures. And I started, I did this book. And then after that, I did If You Could Be a Fish. That was the second one. And then the third one, If You Could Swim with the Fish, what would you see? And most of these, it was because I had grandchildren. And so this was a way that I could show them my pictures and do it a little bit cuter, than just pictures. And then these were like level 1, 2, and 3. So 1 is for really small children, 2 is a little bigger, and but everybody enjoys the pictures, I think, too. So it was a good way to get the pictures out. I also do calendars and things like that every year, but this was just a different avenue to take.
Nice.
So
thank you. Lovely. We're going to see more of your work in a few minutes. And Gil, anything you want to hold up for us and show us?
Well, I happen to have a copy of my book here.
Oh, gee, why am I surprised? I didn't prep you, but I figured you would. Go ahead. I'm putting you on speaker.
So my book is called Scuba Storyteller, Mostly Humorous Diving Tales by an Addicted Aquanut. You got that right in the poem. And this book was the first story in here of the 65 stories was written in 1994, or it was published in 1994. And I've been publishing stories ever since then. And last year I thought, well, a lot of these have gotten good feedback, so I want to collect about 6 of them, put them in a book, and share my stories and experiences around the world with divers and non-divers, families. My wife doesn't dive, so it's for divers and non-divers, mixed marriages like mine, their kids.
You love to say that. He says that every time I meet him, Barbara. So yes, I know. Thank you, Gil. Aquanut you. I appreciate that. Aquanut. Anybody who doesn't know the proper term is aquanaut.
A friend of mine said I went from ad man to Aquaman.
Oh, it's getting better and better all the time. What I'd like to do is I've asked each of you to please send me a quote from a fictional character in a movie or a TV show or a little bit of a song lyric. And we're just really briefly, because I want to get to the show and tell, I want to get to the slides in a few minutes and the videos. But let's just briefly find out how this quote relates to your own creativity. And then we'll do one creativity statement from each of you. And then we'll wrap up with the show and tell. So Paul has sent a very interesting quote where Michael Corleone, I have no idea what you're going to do with this. Barbara, I've known him 20 years. I have no idea where he's going with this. The quote is from Michael Corleone, played by Al Pacino, speaking to Frank Pentangeli, played by Michael V. Gazzo, in The Godfather Part 2, the epic gangster film produced and directed by who else? Francis Ford Coppola, based loosely on Mario Puzo's The Godfather 1969 novel, and he helped write the co-play. This is the 1974 film, considered one of the greatest films of all time, and a rare example. The sequel, this is the sequel to The Godfather. It did better in the theaters than the original Godfather. This is very unusual. So Paul has picked the following quote. I hope this relates to a shark or something. The quote is, "My father taught me many things here." I embellished it a little, Paul, because I have the movie clip. So, "My father taught me many interesting things here. He taught me in this room. He taught me," here's the quote, "keep your friends close, but your enemies closer." Okay, Paul, you're back on speaker view. What does this have to do with your creativity? Go.
I guess it relates more to my background in living in Brooklyn and growing up in Brooklyn and surviving in Brooklyn. It does being underwater. However, I guess when you're underwater, there's some interesting creatures that you do want to keep close, but there are certain ones you want to even keep closer and keep watching them. So I guess I can relate it to that. But, interestingly, there was a second quote that I had sent you earlier, a little later on, that I kind of was watching accidentally a couple of days ago. The movie Anti-May with Rosalind Russell, who said, talking to her grandson, trying to inspire him, she said, "Life is a banquet and most poor people are starving." And that was meant to really inspire him to challenge society's norms, say yes to life's unexpected adventures, and just embrace whatever comes along and go into it fully, wholeheartedly. So that is probably more relevant to my current adventures.
I thought you were going to relate the quote to sharks or some other fish that were swimming by where you saw the mothers protecting the babies and you say,
good.
keep your enemies close. Yes, keep your friends close, your enemies closer, meaning I don't want that. Yes, I will stay with the friendly waters. Okay, we'll leave that. Thank you for the anti-Mame quote. I appreciate that too. That was an interesting story, and that goes back the Rosalind Russell version. And didn't Angela Lansbury play Mame on Broadway, I think?
Later on, yes.
Later on,
the
yeah.
movie was in 1958 when I was 11 years old, and I saw it, and I was just never left me. I was just inspired.
He
by
had
it.
to tell you what a young kid he is, what a young puppy is. He had to get that in there. Most of us don't talk about age like that. Good for you.
Right.
Okay, let's go to Barbara's quote. Barbara has sent us a quote from a song by Rod Stewart from 2013 from his album Time. The title of the song is Live the Life. It's from his rock album. Listen to this. It was a return to songwriting after a dark period of 20 years. He was writing his autobiography, and it gave him the impetus to start writing music again. So there was 2 decades of darkness for him. The album came into the UK album charts at #1. And Barbara, it set a British record for the longest gap between a chart-topping album by an artist because there were so many years between. Previously, 1979, The Greatest Hits, Volume 1 was in #1. He's a British singer and a songwriter, obviously, known for his distinctive, raspy singing voice, among the best-selling music artists of all time. He's only sold 120 million records worldwide.
Wow.
I don't know, you know that. And you know that he was with the Jeff Beck band before. He started out busking with a harmonica before he started singing and getting into bands. I didn't know that. Okay, and Maggie May was his breakthrough single. Here's the quote. I get around to it eventually, Barbara. Here's the quote Barbara has picked from Live the Life. Live the life you love. Love the life you live. What a beautiful quote. I want to crochet it somewhere. I still have yarn and a crochet hook. Barbara, tell us what this has to do with your creativity, please.
Well, I think that, whether I've been having to work or, working in different fields and everything, I always liked creating things and doing some type of artwork. And I think it's just, and also my diving and with whatever, vacationing, things like that, getting to do those things. So I think, you just try to do what you like, and then you just try to use that as much as you can. And when you can. That's the main thing. So I haven't always had this as a job or anything, but I've always done this, and that's what I really enjoy. So I've always done these other things that I like to be creative about. So.
You know something? People talk about a bucket list. What's in your bucket list? I've been telling people for years, don't wait till you need to check the bucket list. Live it now. Do it
exactly
now.
Right.
Gil knows I started doing my own TV show on Long Island, 25, 30 years ago, because I didn't want to wait, and started doing stand-up comedy, had my own troupe, and I started writing and doing gigs for newspapers. Gil, I did some freelancing for Newsday, and I just wanted to do it all. I've been a drummer. I've been in a Motown band. I've been an MC. I've emceed bachelor auctions on Long Island with drunk men terrified in tuxedos falling down, trying to pull me down to the floor on stage in front of 1,000 women with checkbooks. So don't wait. So, I'm sorry, Barbara, it has nothing to do with you, but I just, I had to say that. So, okay, so let's get me out of this pickle here, and let's go to Gil's quote. Gil has a quote from Johnny Castle. Too bad he left us so early. The wonderful professional dance instructor and actor Patrick Swayze, who was the bad boy Johnny Castle in Dirty Dancing. 1980s, I've been a dance teacher too. 1987 romantic drama dance film. It was written by Eleanor Bergstein from her own memories, which is very interesting. Frances Baby Houseman, played by the lovely, wonderful Jennifer Grey, was a teenager who fell in love with her dance instructor, Johnny Castle, while vacationing with her family at an upscale Borscht Belt Catskills resort. My family went there once to a similar one, owned by her Dr. Father's sarcastic best friend, Max. And I have to tell you before I read the quote, Gil, that there was a lot of difficulty making the movie because Jennifer Grey was not a trained dancer and Patrick Swayze was. And when he was rehearsing the very detailed scenes with her, she would giggle or joke or fool around, and he was
Right.
very impatient. And there's a lore that they didn't get along that well, but the film
I read
turned
that.
out to be one of the best. Absolutely. So here's the quote, and this was in the final scene where everybody gets up and dances, but he's doing this fabulous disco number on the stage, and her father is ready to get her down off the floor because he's holding her and kissing her. And the mother says, just wait, leave it alone, leave it alone. And it's just a fabulous scene. And the Johnny Castle looks at the dad, looks at the audience, and says, "Nobody puts baby in the corner." Breathtaking. I can't stop watching that scene, but I'll have to eventually.
Right.
Okay, Gil, explain. What does this have to do with your creativity? Go.
Well, couple of things. First, it means don't marginalize anybody. Don't put them in the corner. Don't hide them. Let them. And for me, I'm a twin. I've got a twin brother and an older sister. We're fraternal. I'm
Ah.
a little taller, a little better looking, a little slimmer, but we're still best friends. Anyway, I was always thought of as part of the twins. And I was never separate. I never was my own person until I moved to Dallas when I was 33 years old for a better job, and then became my own real person. Then we were roommates, and then I became my own person. So I was marginalized as a child accidentally, just because I was one of two. So when Johnny pulls her up on the stage, onto the stage, and they do that great dance number to "The Time of Your Life," it was a great moment in the film. And also the film tested horribly with audiences. It went straight to VHS. It was so successful. It was the first VHS to sell 1 million copies, and then it was brought to the theaters. And this is all in a documentary that is called "The Movies That Made Us."
And what does this have to do with your creativity? We want to relate it to
What it has to do
you.
with my creativity is don't marginalize your talent. Don't think that you're not good enough to write a story, to write a poem, to take a photo, to write an article, to write a book. Believe in yourself. That's what it means. Believe in yourself.
Love the life you live.
Yeah.
Live the life you love. Thank you.
Right.
See how it all relates,
Right.
friends? And I'm still not, the smorgasbord, we'll do that. We'll skip the enemies closer. Thank you, Paul.
One more thing.
Yes, dear. Yes.
For Paul, when I worked in advertising in San Francisco, we often would do radio commercial productions in the Zoetrope Studios, which was a few blocks from where I worked. I would often see Francis Ford Coppola there or in his cafe out in front.
Very nice. Very
Very
nice.
cool.
How about that?
Places
And
we've been.
Very cool.
Often worked with his sound engineer.
Very, very, very cool. Thank you. Interesting.
Sure.
And my passion is talking to interesting and smart people like the three of you. That's what gets me up in the morning, is getting to do this show and my other shows, and getting to hear your stories and share you with my audiences. And that's my spark. So let's quickly do one creativity statement from each of you. And Paul, I picked your first one because you don't have to find it. I'll read it. No problem. No homework assignment here. And I'm going to read it, and we'll see if it resonates with Barbara and or Gil, just briefly, a round table here. So Paul's first statement was, he writes sipping 80 proof limoncello. And it's delicious. No, he says, I usually,
That's true.
I love the true confessions on the show. He usually writes in the evening, late at night, but his antenna is always up when he's in writing mode in case something inspirational hits him. He says, then I try to remember the thoughts or jot them down. Paul, briefly, where do you jot them down? Do you use a recorder? Do you dictate?
I have this little notebook with one of my photos on it. And I just kind of carry it with me. If I go to the beach or I'm out somewhere, and all of a sudden, if something hits me, I say, I have to write that down, because I know I'm going to forget it 2 hours later, and I'll be lost. So this is my little writing tome, if you will, of little thoughts that hopefully will jog a bigger scene in a chapter or something, or it could take me off in another direction.
I love it. And, David Byrne from Talking Heads was interviewed on somebody's podcast a couple of years ago, and I happened to see the report on that. And he calls those the little beginnings. And he says he has on his computer, he writes down these little beginnings, maybe an idea for a melody, for a song lyric. And then he goes back to them and says to himself, let's give it 30 minutes and see if we can develop it into something. And he calls it he said, very creative people know about this. They use this, but you can't start with a blank page. You need to have some kind of inspiration. Barbara, is there anything, do you drink limoncello and do you write late at night? Let's just go around the table here.
Well, the limoncello sounds really good.
It does. I got to get some.
Let's see, just when I have time, it's mainly just when I have time. It's never any certain time, but I just kind of start on things and then it just kind of goes from there. I don't, and I add things to it. I mean, I'm always doing something. It seems like I'm always thinking about what I might do or what I might make. And I just have so many, I paint, I do all different things. And so I don't know.
I'm going to read your statement before I get Gil. I'm going to read it. She says, Barbara says, I do my best writing earlier in the day by myself in my art room. I write on paper with a pen and I may have music on in the background. So let's just blend that in here. What kind of music do you have and what do you write in with your pen? Gil, I'll get to you next, but go ahead, Barbara. What are you writing in with the pen? Where are you writing? Notes, scrap paper, a notebook? Did Paul give you one of the notebooks? Well,
next time I see you, I'll bring you one.
I want one.
Okay.
You're going to mail me one, Paul. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead, Barbara. Go.
No, I just write on, like a legal pad with a pen, and usually I just write ideas, and then I'll start maybe writing the whole thing, like the whole sentences and things like that. But a lot of times I'll just start with ideas. That's the same way if I'm going to paint something or I'm going to make things, I write things down. I also write things down, what I'm going to do and what if I'm going to paint bags, I'm going to paint this, or I do a lot of commissions. So I'm always working on, something that I'm doing. But usually early in the morning, but it could be any time too. Really.
What kind of music? You said you like music in the background. What kind of music?
I like a lot of the 70s rock. I like, things. I've got a great playlist. Some of the new things I like too, but I just I have a playlist that I'm constantly adding to, and I
nice.
Just listen to it all the time.
Thank you. Gil, time of day, do you write things down? Do you listen to music when you create? Just give us a little story here.
I almost always write in the morning, first thing. Well, from my advertising background, always having a list of items to knock off each day, and it got busier and more intense as I became more experienced and could write faster. And especially the last 17 years when I was a freelancer and sometimes juggling 10 or 12 projects at once. So I would make a list every morning, and I still do, of things I want to do that day, things I want to accomplish. It could be as simple as write a story for this scuba magazine, interview this person for another story, do some social media postings, etc., and then stories I want to develop later on. So I always have a list. There's always
I'm going to read your creativity statement number 2 to support what you just said. You say, I write 99% of my content on a computer with a tranquil, hilly view in my home office. But here's the caveat. I also write headline thoughts on napkins, scratch paper, and restaurant receipts. I knew that would get a smile. What kind of a receipt do you write on the back of?
Here's one. Yeah.
And use a regular pen? Do you carry a pen with you, or do you do it when you get home?
No, wherever I am, there's a pen or there's one in my pocket. Yeah.
Very, very cool. Very cool. But the important part, Gil, is what do you do to collect these? Do you put them in a box? Do you put them in an envelope? Do you put them in a bag? Do you put them under your pillow?
Just
put them in the fridge on your desk.
On my desk. Yeah.
Do you date them? Do you put a date and time?
No, but I have paper down in the kitchen or in the dining room table. There's paper and pen always there, so I can write there as I intermittently do puzzles in New York Times, or at my desk. There's next to my bed. There's paper and pen everywhere.
Very nice.
I write almost exclusively on the computer because it's faster. I think as fast as I can type.
I think so too. Very, very interesting. Thank you all for the methods of madness. I'm still trying to finish my novel, and I'm afraid nobody would ever want to read it, so I'm staying away from finishing it, Paul. I've been working on it for 3 years. It's hysterically sassy, sarcastic. It's and I have a pen name already picked out, but I can't tell you on the show here because people knew I wrote it, they might come after me, and we don't want that to happen. So
Is your pen name the Red Writer?
It's something else. It's something else, and it's not a red herring either. I'll tell you that. I don't know why I said that. Okay, I think anybody have anything else to add about your creativity, your methods, or your styles, or anything? Middle of the night, early morning, anything? Anybody drink anything like Paul does? I know Barbara said she'd like lemon. Oh, by the way, I have to tell you all, as far as marketing goes for books, Paul Mila sent me little coasters. Little coasters. I still use them. I have one somewhere in my office. I've got one in my bathroom. I put some cosmetics on top of it. He sent sticky notes, and if I need to, if I deposit a check by, yes, I have those. And if I deposit a check by mobile, I will take one of those, cut it in half, and sticky note it on and put it in a folder in my closet that says I sent this in by mobile, so I know where the check went. So I'm still, your advertising, Paul, is still part of it.
I'm all over the place.
It's from my life. I appreciate that very much. Let's see if we can go to let's go do a share now, and let's see what we've got here. Let's go to more. No, I want screens, and I want, here we go, and let's pull this up, and can you all see this now? Okay, yes, everybody sees it?
Yes.
That's the Creativity Spark Show, Read My Lips with Radio Red. There the three of you are, and we are going to be showing, there we go. Some of this is slow coming in, and we have Barbara. Yours didn't fade in, but it's there, and we have Gil's fading in, and now, okay, Paul, why don't you narrate these for us? And then we will go to Barbara and then to Gil. We got plenty of time, and we may have time for some videos at the end. So, Paul, tell me when you want to go next, and I'll move the slide to the next one. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, this is basically something I'd always wanted. It was one of those bucket list items that I always wanted to do. Kept putting it off until I met a diver in Cozumel who said, "Yeah, I just went to the California off Mexico." And went cage diving with great whites. So I said, okay. And he described his experience. So I said, okay, I need to do this. Can't put it off any longer. So the picture of me going into the cage is a Jimmy Buffett fins up salute, and in case I didn't get back out. And luckily the cage was very strong. I tested it, remembering the scene from Jaws where it didn't work out too well. Cage is very strong. Exactly. Dum dum dum. I heard the music in my ears. And these were just a couple of my photos that I happened to take. I took some video also, but these are a couple of the more, like the photos I really loved, emphasizing, if you're a photographer, you want to, get that good forward angle, shooting slightly upward at your subject to make it seem more dramatic. And these didn't need any extra dramatization because they were pretty dramatic as it was. But seeing great whites up close, moving around, right in front of you was totally awesome. It was one of those, like I said, a bucket list experience. And
how far down did you go in the cage? Can you?
They gave us. We had two depths. One was about 3 or 4 feet down. Okay, the other one was 40 feet down. You had your choice. So these two here were when I was pretty deep, and the sharks were going over us. These were about from 40 feet down, 45 feet down. But we found that the more shallow the cage was at around the 5 foot level, just underwater, you got more action shots because they were chumming for the sharks with the tuna on a rope without a hook, so the shark could take it if they wanted to take it.
Very cool.
And that created a lot of these, bite type shots. You were able to take, more action with the sharks and stuff like that. So they were actually more interesting. But these are two of my favorites. So.
Okay, let's go to the next one.
Right.
Sea turtles.
Sea turtles, another inspirational thing. These are hawks. This is a hawksbill sea turtle. Actually, 3 different sea turtles. And this is, again, as all of us know who take underwater photography, it's it's some skill, but a lot of it is just dumb luck, being in the right place at the right time, and having the right equipment. Naturally, lighting to bring out the colors and things like that. But these were some sea turtles that gave me the inspiration to write. Harry Hawksbill helps his friends, and Harry was the obviously the star of the book and the whole kids series, and these appeared in the book.
Beautiful. I call this beauty underwater. I didn't know how to classify these. You sent me a bunch of new ones, so tell us.
Well, you never know what you're going to see. Again, we see a lot of lobster, which kind of gets you hungry when you look at these things. Mm-hmm. Caribbean lobsters don't have claws like their New England cousins do. They only have tails. So you'll see them with their antenna waving in front of you like this. On the right-hand side here, there's a couple of, it's a gray angel and a queen angel. You see angelfish quite a bit, and they're always lovely to look at. You never know what they're going to do. frequently you see them hanging around with sea turtles because sea turtles like to eat sponges. The sponges kind of like they float around, the bits and pieces, and the angelfish just snap them up. And as Barbara has probably seen this many times in Cozumel.
Yeah.
And that's I got these shots.
Beautiful. Next.
My last trip, actually, this happened 2 weeks ago when I was down in Cozumel. We came across a bunch of nurse sharks. I don't know what was going on. I have never seen this many nurse sharks in one place. I don't know if they were just hanging out. I don't know if it's a mating season or what. But we came across accidentally. A lot of it's accidental. You just don't know what you're going to find. But on the left-hand side here, a bunch of nurse sharks just happened to be swimming around this, and we came across a bunch just kind of hanging out together. Whatever they were doing, I don't know, but there was, they were relaxing. And on the right, this is a loggerhead who just happened to be cruising by looking for lunch. You can't see it from this picture. The video I took, you can see him every so often sampling something to eat, a piece of a sponge or whatever he was snapping at. And this is amazing to see underwater. And this is, again, okay, Gracie Green Turtle Finds a Beach was my second children's book, inspired by actually seeing turtles laying their eggs at night and midnight in Cozumel. And also then you can visit nests during the day in the right time of the season, several months later when the babies hatch. So the story with this one, I tried to involve a little bit of environmental message in an entertaining way, that she has to find her beach because a lot of the beaches have been eroded from, global warming may have raised sea levels, whatnot. There could be trash on some of the beaches, which made them unsuitable. So she has to find a good beach. And it's a way of kind of raising environmental issues in a child's mind without being too teaching oriented, more entertaining.
And Paul, I did show this as the cover of your newsletter, your April newsletter. I wanted you to see that. Okay. So Gracie is already also coming up on the page with your children's book covers, but I wanted to feature your newsletter. What's the one? You're welcome. What's the one on the right?
Okay, again, another angelfish. This is a French angelfish with a blue tang. Just cruising by, and thought it made a nice shot with the corals in the background and stuff like that. Just everything is entertaining. You just shoot a lot, and some shots don't come out too well. This one came out pretty nicely, so I'm very happy.
Beautiful. Now, here, tell us just quickly, Larry again. Okay, what happened?
Well, Larry Loggerhead. We came across this loggerhead sea turtle with a big gash in its shell. I don't know if you can see it in the photo, but there might be a video of it later if you have it. I don't know. Anyway, I didn't know what I was going to write for another children's book. Came across this huge loggerhead swinging past us with a huge gash in its shell, probably from being hit by a boat. So I said, okay, I have an idea for my next book. Let's go to a sea turtle hospital. And I happened to go to one down in Juno Beach, the Marine Life Loggerhead Center, Marine Life Center in Juno Beach. And they let me go into their hospital to see some of the turtles that they were taking care of. And many are loggerheads like this one in the photo. And what was kind of interesting, the original story was going to be Lori Loggerhead until I showed I wanted the staff to read the rough draft to make sure I didn't make any technical mistakes. And when they saw a couple of signs in the turtle, it was like a very, very large stick tail, some hooks in the front flippers. They said, this is not Lori. Sorry. So he became Larry. and then the last photo on the right there was two of my grandkids, Sophie and Max, reading the book.
Adorable. Here we got some more talk.
Okay, humpback whales. As I said, humpback whales are totally inspirational. When you get this close to them, we weren't allowed to scuba dive with them because underwater, blowing bubbles underwater, we were told, could be taken as a sign of aggression. And as our captain told us, you don't want to piss off a 50-ton whale. So it was, and they don't want you to interact with the whale if he doesn't want to interact. So this was only taken by snorkeling. The first one on the left is a mother and a baby. And the mother came so close, she would have hit me with pectoral fin, but you can see she drew her fin back along her body so she wouldn't hit me. And then the two right-hand sides on the top there are another shots of the baby. And that was in the Dominican Republic, Silverbank. The bottom two were taken down in Tonga, South Pacific. A humpback whale on the left surface right next to me, looked me right in the eye. I was so close I couldn't get the whole whale even with a wide-angle lens. And I have to tell you, when a humpback whale looks at you with its eye, it is like no other eye you've ever seen. It's not like a fish eye. A fish or a shark looks at you and it's like, are you food? Are you threat? Are you part of the background? That's about it. When a humpback whale looks at you, you can feel the intelligence in its gaze. It's assessing you, looking at you, trying to figure out, okay, what's this clown doing next to me here or whatever, But you can feel the intelligence. And the last shot on the right was a humpback whale kind of was going over me. And I kind of held, I had to get up. I was only snorkeling, and I had to hold my breath while he passed over me. And that was just a great shot. Again, dumb luck happened, and glad I got to experience it.
It looks like a nice ribbed white sweater that somebody knitted. Let's go quickly through these because I want to get to Barbara's. Go ahead.
Okay,
I
great.
got a couple more.
The nonfiction book was Bubbles Up.
Yep.
And co-authored with another writer from the West Coast, Judith Hemingway, who actually is related to Hemingway.
Oh.
What happened with one of these family fights? The family broke up, and one branch changed their name. I said, Judy, I said, if you're a writer, you should go to the other branch. You got to make it ING. The other two were two of my first novels.
There you go. And we got a couple more here. I'm just going to go ahead through this because we've seen a couple of these and the kids. So we've already seen Gracie. And Larry, tell us briefly about Harry and Sally.
Harry was the very first one. Didn't know what I was going to write about. But, angelfish have similar body types, very similar in shape, different colored scales. What do I do for a story? I was always fascinated by the story, by the song in South Pacific, where the person that sings about you've got to be taught to hate and fear all the people your relatives hate, whatever. It's a song about discrimination or whatever. So I thought it'd be a great way to kind of get that theme into to children without being overly heavy-handed.
Nice.
And Sally Stingray just happened to come up over the fact that my grandson was over the house one night, and I said, I want to write a book about one more, but I have no pictures of what kind of turtle I want, a leatherback. He goes, well, why don't you use a different animal? I hadn't thought about that. I was so laser focused on turtles. So I said, great idea, Luke. I said, maybe we can try something. I have a lot of stingray pictures. So we kind of put our heads together and came up with a story about Sally Stingray. He wrote some of the dialogue, some of the background.
I love it.
So I wrote that with my 10-year-old grandson.
I love it. That's a great story. Thank you, Paul. Barbara, you're up. Tell us a little bit. You've already showed us a couple of these. And when did you write these? When did you decide to write children's books? Tell us that.
Well, I actually wrote one before this, but I self-published it, and it was when my first grandchild was born, and he was, I wanted to do something for him, and that was, I rhymed it, and it included, his name and a lot of things like that, and little rhymes about each one of the. I think I used a lot of our family names too, just in it, but I self-published that, and then I guess a little bit later on, I decided I'd do another one. And I think Paul actually told me I should check out the best publishing company. And so I went to them and met Lorraine, who was my editor then at that time. And I started using my pictures and books, and did these books. So.
Lovely. Thank you. Let's go see a little more about you. Some photography. Tell us what these are.
Well, this is a nurse shark, the one on the left, and they've got the hawksbill turtle in the middle, which also was like Paul said, you just once in a while get a great shot. They just kind of pose for you, and then an arrow crab on an anemone on the third one. But I do a lot of mostly just the photography, but I do some video. I didn't get any of that sent to you, but
well, these are these are gorgeous. The pink one on the right is just it almost looks like it's not real. It's that good. It's that beautiful.
I love the more macro,
gorgeous
shots too.
The texture is just phenomenal. Well, here's more. Tell us.
And then we got a gray angelfish and green moray eel, which always looks so scary, but they're just breathing. So everybody always, think unless you have a lionfish or something, and then they might be interested in that. And then one of my favorite fish on the lower side is the slender filefish, and that one is that was one of my favorite pictures because. Gorgeous. They're tiny. They're really hard to see. They turn sideways and then they just disappear. You can't see them. Yep. So, and it's a little tiny fish, and then a French angelfish or a queen angelfish too on the bottom.
Wow, your colors are just cool. And the one on the left on the bottom, I almost think it's from a Christmas tree. It looks like lights.
It was just perfect because there was some like a pink sponge behind, and then the green, and and then. and it's probably, I don't know, like that little. It's a very tiny fish.
Magical.
So-
Let's see a little bit more. Your photos are gorgeous. Tell me more about these.
Thank you. Then the pufferfish, which I love those. And then below the black and white spotted one is the trunk fish. And they're always just cute. And the tiny ones too, they're like just a little, I don't know, a little round pea or something. You can find those. That's an adult. And then the social feather dusters are the white ones. That's actually a worm, but they're in colonies, and
these
I
look
think
like
they're
they're
just
from
beautiful.
they look like graphics from a movie. They look like I'm having the pufferfish on the top left. The blue eye. It looks like it's coming out of
I
a
know
It's gorgeous. It's just
they are. They're just beautiful.
Yeah.
You know,
And
Beautiful.
that's
creatures.
unpuffed. When they puff up, they
wow.
go 2 or 3
Right.
times their size, and they have little
Look at the fins,
thorns,
the colors.
right?
Your compositions are gorgeous. It's the composition, not just the
Thank you.
feature fish. And these now let's a little bit of your artwork. So these
Well,
are
these are-
your
Yeah.
yeah.
A few of my the one on the left with the bird of paradise. That's a big picture. We have that actually in our house. That's a acrylic, and then the one in the middle, the shells. That's a watercolor. I do a lot of like cards like that, greeting cards, things like that, or copies of them. And then the one on the right is also an acrylic, which it's a painting I sold, but
Beautiful.
the
Just
mermaid. I do a lot of mermaids. I know a lot of people like mermaids. I do a lot of those also for commissions. So.
I want to be a mermaid when I grow up. Tell us about these. No, I don't.
Well,
but it
this
sounds good.
one, the turtles are always just fun. I love to paint them, and they're always just a good subject because I see them underwater, and they're just kind of, I don't know, they just have such a personality to me to
Beautiful.
paint. And then the other one is just actually it's from a scene on Cozumel on the east side of the island where there used to be some little fishing boats over there, and
Mm. Lovely.
it's
I'm
just
going to go to your a little bit more
Oh.
here. Talk about mermaids.
more
Wow.
mermaids,
The
more
triptych?
mermaids. And then on the right is just a coaster that
Mm.
that's one of my paintings, and then I made coasters out of
I
that
wouldn't
one,
put a
and,
drink on that. I would just want to look at it.
The drink would
Okay.
have to be salt water.
And then just briefly, I see hats here. I see
Just a-
bags and shirts. Barbara, this is an important question for our creativity audience.
Yes.
Do you ever sleep?
Well, I do actually, but I do like to when I just like to be working on something all the time. So I do.
What do
a
you
lot
have
of
for
different
breakfast?
things.
What's your creativity food? What do you start your day? Anything interesting?
Coffee mainly.
Oh dear. They don't let me near coffee. I don't need the caffeine. These are gorgeous. Thank you, Barbara. So absolutely beautiful, delightful. Gil, it's your turn. Tell us. Go.
Yeah, I feel like such a slacker. I have one
Oh,
book.
stop. No, we don't do that. Remember you said don't marginalize your talent. That was your
Right,
message.
right.
Okay, let's live our
Right.
dream here. Go ahead. Tell me.
Okay, so bottom left would be giving the thumbs up. That was my first dive in Grand Cayman in 1981. And then on the upper left, it was when I got certified south of Dallas in a reservoir in 1985. But it was like a tale of two cities. It was the best of times. It was worst of times. The best of times was Grand Cayman, 82-degree water, t-shirt, no wetsuit, a weight belt, and an orange horse collar BCD, and the water was 82. The weather was 82. The visibility was like 150 feet, some of the best I've ever seen. Where in Texas, it was like 55 degrees and 2 to 5 foot visibility with a silty bottom.
Oh.
So horrible visibility. In the middle photo with me touching the tube sponge, this was taken by Paul Human, who's was a famous photographer and fish identifier. He wrote many, many books about fish guides. And that was in Grand Cayman. No, it was in Belize rather, in 88. And the bottom right picture was a megalodon, a plastic megalodon jaw in Palau last year.
Do, 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 do. Go ahead. Tell
I
us what
just saw
these
the
are.
Jaws movie again last week. Matter of
Go
fact.
ahead.
Doesn't get old. Doesn't get old.
No, it doesn't get
No.
old, and it still
No.
holds up too.
What are we looking at here?
And in fact, the Jaws movie in the book,
Yeah.
Peter Benchley wrote it as like a 15 to 20 foot shark, but Spielberg wanted it to be 20 to 25 foot long because it was a monster.
Huh.
So the left picture here was a silhouette I took in Cozumel several years ago, one of my favorite photos. And the bottom right is part of a video. I don't know if we can play that.
If we have time, I'm not going to do
Okay.
it right here. We're going to
Okay.
finish the deck. But go
Yeah,
ahead.
Sure.
Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. What's this? This is gorgeous.
And
Gil.
this was in Little Cayman. It was just a bunch of these grunts, yellowtails. It was just a whole school of fish with, and there was a little cutout of coral in the background. I like how the light filtered through. It wasn't that well lit. I just have a little handheld camera. I don't have the big brackets and all that.
But you know what? That dark blue on the top left is so dramatic with the offset of the white and the yellow in the fish.
Yeah.
Beautiful composition. Tell us what these are.
On the left is in Palau, a giant Pacific manta ray, 10 to 12 feet across, with a Moorish idol. I like the juxtaposition of the two. This was at the German Channel. And on the right was what kind of turtle is that, Paul?
Looks like a green sea turtle to me.
Yeah.
Could be
yeah.
a green
So
or a
this
lot
was
of it.
in, I believe it was Little Cayman.
Beautiful. And now here's your book. Tell us
That's my
briefly.
book cover. Yeah.
And how many stories are in this? Mostly humorous?
65, but I like one of the reviews. It said, I was laughing so hard I nearly peed in my dry suit.
I want to thank all of you for that. Let's see, do we have a moment or two we can watch and I still have to take pictures of all of you when we're after we're done. I think I have time. Let's see. Yeah, we have a couple more 4 minutes. Let me see if I can share files. And let's go to, you know what I'm going to share. Let's see, video file. Okay, this should work. And Paul, I'm going to play your Barracuda movie first. This is 1 minute and 39 seconds. I don't think there's sound on this one. Go ahead.
Right. Yeah. This was again, talking about dumb luck. We were down on our second dive of the day with about 40 feet. This is our shallow dive, about 40, 50 feet on a reef called Paso de Cedral. We saw this little snapper getting picked on by triggerfish. Those are those blue ones, queen triggers. They're very aggressive fish. The fish was missing most of its body, which is what caught my attention. And all of a sudden, the fish scattered because they saw what was coming in, and what was coming in was a barracuda came right in.
Oh wow!
Twisted, cut it in half, and then the second barracuda came over my shoulder and took the rest of it. And then once this was done, we were like wondering, okay, the barracudas are circling us. What's going to happen next when the food's gone? But as I say, barracuda they like to eat sushi, not prime rib, so we felt pretty safe. After a while, they left us.
I'm going to stop that one. Let me go. Let me see if I can share a different one here. Let me go to share video files, and let's go to the second one, Larry Loggerhead. Let's see if we can pull this one up here. This one has sound. Go ahead.
This is the turtle that I was speaking about, Larry Loggerhead. And what caught my attention was a huge gash in his shell.
Yes,
and
we see it now.
He was swimming very calmly. You'll see it in a second. He'll kind of look around for something to maybe eat as he's going along. As long as you don't reach out and try and touch them, we were all very respectful. We kept our distances as the other divers did in the video. Nobody went to try and touch him or do anything. So he was very calm about the whole thing.
Wow.
And he just let us swim along with him. You can see his huge tail in the back. That's a sign it's a male, along with the little hooks on his front flippers.
Thank you.
And,
I'm going to go to Gil's.
Yes.
I'm looking at the clock, and I want to make sure we have time. Sure. Don't be mad at me, Paul. Gil, 18 seconds. What is this?
Okay, so this was last year in Barbados, earlier this year actually in March, and it's very rare to see a moray eel free swimming instead of with their head stuck into a crevice. It's very rare to see them swimming freely. I've only seen it 2 or 3 times.
Let me see if we have one more from you. Okay, what's this one? 20 seconds. We're good.
Yeah. So this was in Palau's the German Channel, and these are just huge, and they line up like air traffic control because it's a feeding zone, and it's also there's also a lot of parasites. They're waiting to it's a cleaning station as well.
Very, very interesting. We're just about out of time here. I'm gonna not play the music yet, quite yet, but I just want to make sure we're set up for the closing. We'll stay and take pictures. I want to thank the three of you. Gil, always a pleasure and a
Thank
privilege
you.
to see you. Paul, my good friend, how many decades have I known you?
A
We
lot.
had he was on my
Mucho.
TV show many times on Long Island. We had some nice lunches and dinners and just talking. Barbara, you are an absolute delight to meet, and I hope you'll come back again. If you want to send me more videos and pictures, I'd be delighted to have you. I'm going to read you. I'm part of an online poetry group, and I'm going to read you a creativity poem. This was one of my acrostics from July 24th, 2024. I've written about 800 poems because we write one a week during the year and then one or three a day during the months of April and November. And I've been doing this for 3 years. So it's about 700 poems. So this is an acrostic, which I love. And this is called Night Shift, NIGHTSHIFT. I will lean when I read that letter. Okay. So never quite really at rest. It's the life of a creative. Going, gripping, gyrating, growling, groaning, growing, highs and lows, flowing on a mental Mobius strip. The days are the nights are the days again, shifting off and on, into and out of gear, hoping for unique brilliance even once. It's a calling, command, curse, roller coaster, finding eureka, euphoria amid frustration, fears. Thus is the life of the creative. So I dedicate that to the three of you.
Oh,
I hope
thank
you
you.
enjoyed that. You're welcome.
Yeah,
And now
thank
my
you.
closing. Barbara, in 2014, I closed my show with the top 10 tips for women. And the number one, don't forget, this was 2014, was aspire to be Barbie. The biatch has everything. We'll leave it just there. Okay, now here's the final closing. And this is for everybody. Gil and Paul can listen to this. And don't go away. And we'll play the music and then we'll go. So, life is short. Break the rules. Forgive quickly. I'm still trying to learn that one. It's not just hasn't taken hold. Kiss slowly, that I know. Love truly, definitely. Laugh uncontrollably. Laugh with me, everybody. 1, 2, 3. Don't hurt yourself. I don't have laugh insurance. And never regret anything that made you smile. And you've all made me smile. Final closing. Work like you don't need the money. Dance like no one's watching. When I taught disco in high heels in a high school cafeteria in Eugene, Oregon, with 175 people in the class, they watched. I never fell off the table. They made me a stage. No OSHA. Sing like nobody's listening. Love like you've never been hurt. We all have. Let your heart regroup, regrow, regenerate, reinvent. Love again. Money talks. Chocolate sings. And last but not least, I want to thank you to our audience for turning me on. I stole that line. Let's go out with our music. Join me in dancing.
Okay.
Don't go anywhere. We're going to take pictures. Barbara, I hope you had a good time.
I did. Thanks so much.
Good. Oh, good moves there, kiddo. Oh, look at those shoulders. The Mila shoulders.
There you go.
Tell me what it is that sparks your fire.